Well, good morning, my friends. How are you today? Let's start this day off right. Well, welcome back. It's your old pal, Jordan the Lion. Well, we're up and at it early because, well, we just woke up early. So I want to take Ja out to a new park, a place I've never been to. It's actually like over on San Vicente, so it's a little bit of a drive away, but like I said, we've never been there before, and I just want to give him a little change of pace, and we'll do the vlog kind of over in that direction today. Daze with Jordan the Lion and Ja begins now. Well, we're pretty close. I don't know what those are on the side, or what they're supposed to be. Well, this is a first. In order to take him to the dog park, we had to park in a parking garage because they have no parking around here. Well, I see a sign for the pool, basketball, and library, but we're looking for the dog park. Well, we're certainly trying to find it. It's not easy to find. Well, let's go see if it's through here. He's excited. He's ready. Ah, I think there it is. Yep, there it is. Look at your face. Good grief, look at that face. Tongue hanging out, mouth hanging wide open. What do you think, big guy? You ready to go home? Actually, let's go do the vlog. What do you say? Alright, I think we're ready to head out of the dog park now. And we're going to go over to Fairfax Avenue. And we're going to go see the former site of Jay Sebring Salon, Sebring International. If the name Jay Sebring rings a bell, well, I'll tell you a little bit about him when we get over there. Might refresh your memory. Let's go. Now this vlog is kind of funny because I meant to do this about 6 months ago and then just ended up doing something else that day and then just never went back to it. And then one day I'm walking down Hollywood Boulevard, walking by a restaurant, and there's a couple dining out on the patio, and they stop me and say that they watch my channel, and they said, "Have you thought of doing Sebring Salon?" And I said, "Yeah, actually I have, but thanks for reminding me." So that's why we're gonna do it today. Had a little bit of a reminder, and I said, you know, that's one that nobody's really vlogged, and I'd like to do it. That was a pretty great park. I really like that park. He had a lot of fun. And they actually had two separate sections, one for small dogs and one for big dogs. Now there's something you don't see too often in California, or at least I don't see it too often. All four flags. The United States of America flag, California flag, the Los Angeles County flag, and then the West Hollywood flag. Bird. Whoa, look at all the graffiti up there on that wall. Jeez, just came around the corner and saw that. Now we're cruising down Melrose on our way to our next stop. Well, here we are. The former location of Sebring Salon, run by Jay Sebring. Now, Jay Sebring is somebody that, depending on what your interests are in life, you may have heard of him for many reasons. You may have heard of him for his innovative hairstyling techniques. He actually really set the hair world on fire. He was in the Navy right out of high school, and he eventually made his way to Los Angeles, changed his name from Thomas Kummer to Jay Sebring, basically took like the middle initial of, or the first initial of his middle name, Jay, and he took the car race, Sebring, and created his name Jay Sebring. Now, the ways that he innovated the hairstyling craze was basically he changed everything. He was the first person credited as shampooing men's hair before cutting it. He used blow dryers, which nobody was using scissors instead of clippers, which everybody else was cutting men's hair with clippers. And he was also innovative in using hairspray instead of using Bro cream or anything else to style the hair. Now, he had a lot of famous people that he could take credit for their look. Jim Morrison, for one. They say that Jim Morrison's kind of like grown out mod hair was Jay Sebring's idea. He used to fly to Vegas every couple of weeks and cut Frank Sinatra's hair. He cut Warren Beatty's hair. Now what's also interesting is Jay Sebring had a kind of an interest in martial arts, and because of that he went to the invitational that Bruce Lee came out here for in Long Beach. He saw Bruce Lee, thought he had a star quality, and talked to one of his friends who was a producer and got Bruce Lee cast on Green Hornet. So Jay ended up changing his salon from just being a local salon to a franchise, creating products for his hairline. Now, what's interesting is when he started doing that franchising, he took on a partner named Abigail Folger, and that would be someone he would be connected with for eternity. Now, Abigail Folger was someone who was an heiress that had a lot of money. She was an heiress to the Folgers coffee fortune, and decided to invest with Jay Sebring. Now, Jay Sebring was he was basically known as a playboy. He had been married a couple times and was pretty seriously involved with Sharon Tate until Sharon Tate went to London to film The Fearless Vampire Killers with Roman Polanski. She ended up falling in love with Roman Polanski and basically just dropped Jay. Now when Jay found out, he wasn't actually all that mad. He actually flew to London because he wanted to meet Roman. He ended up liking Roman, gave them his blessing, and became very good friends with both of them to the extent where some would say that they were basically like his family. Now, Jay Sebring also, you know, is well known for, unfortunately, being involved in, well, being one of the victims of the Manson family murders that some say, and a lot of people say, changed the entire way of California, changed the entire mentality of the counterculture. And I think a lot of us know that story. A group of friends decided to go out and have a dinner. They went to El Coyote, and I think many of us know that story, but upon coming back from El Coyote, they went to a house that Roman Polanski was renting up on Cielo Drive. The Manson family broke in and basically forced them all to get down on their, face down on their chests. And when Jay Sebring kind of objected, saying, you know, take pity on Sharon, she has a baby, they immediately shot him and kicked him in the face while he lay there dying, and eventually would kill everyone in the house. And like I said, that would become probably the most famous murder case of the decade, and it was so important that it would actually influence California laws and change the whole face of the counterculture here in Los Angeles. Now, I've heard people say that Jay Sebring used to do even Elvis's hair. I know he had regular clients, like I said, like Steve McQueen and Warren Beatty, Jan and Dean, and really influenced an entire change. Before the days of Jay Sebring cutting men's hair, you could get your hair cut for $1 or $2, but once Jay Sebring started cutting hair, people were willing to pay upwards of $50 or more just to have that celebrity cut. Even now, the former location is still a hair cutting and styling salon. But another fascinating thing about Jay Sebring, and I'm not going to go there today, I'll save it for another vlog, is that Jay Sebring purchased a house that Jean Harlow's husband was murdered in, or some say committed suicide. I've read a couple of books on the case, and I actually believe he was murdered by a former girlfriend. And yeah, he bought Paul Byrne's old estate, so it's kind of ironic that a house where he would end up buying and living in, that someone else had died in under mysterious circumstances, he also would end up dying. And some say that house is haunted. You know, that's always been talked about, the old house on Easton Drive. Now, Kirk Douglas was such a big fan of Jay Sebring that he influenced the producers to hire Jay Sebring to do all the hair for Spartacus. And in fact, he was so well known out here for being like this playboy yet somewhat of a loner that the TV series Batman actually cast him. Even though he wasn't an actor, they cast him to play a character based off himself named Mr. Oceanbring. Pretty sad that a man who influenced so much of business and so much of aesthetics would unfortunately probably be best remembered for being murdered alongside Sharon Tate and 3 others in that house on Cielo Drive because of the Manson family. But after this vlog, I hope you see how important he was and how much he changed in just the short amount of time that he was alive. 1968, it all ended for that group up there on Cielo Drive, unfortunately. Here's Fairfax High School, where Slash and Steven Adler went to school. We had to come by and take a look at this wall. I just drove past and I was like, that is amazing. Prince, one of the Star Trek Enterprise. Now in the last stop we made, oh, there's Dolly. I said I had heard that Jay Sebring did Elvis's hair, although I had always heard and I always thought that Elvis had his own hairstylist, and that was the person who turned him on to like the transcendental meditation type stuff, his when he was going out there and visiting the Yogananda. But I don't know, that's what I had heard, so I figured I would mention it. Oh, there's Walter Sobchak from The Big Lebowski. What else we got up here? Frankenstein. Yeah, I mean, that's a given. You gotta have Frankenstein. That's... You cat to be kidding me. The reason I stopped was because of this right here. Lemmy. Lemmy from Motorhead. That was just too great. I had to put that on there. Nice shoes. River Phoenix? Never thought I'd see Gandhi and a member of the Peanuts together. And clearly a little bit of Madonna action. So when you think about it, how crazy is that? That it's very possible without Jay Sebring, we may have not ever heard of Bruce Lee. Now with his talents, we probably would have, but that's where he got his start, was on the Green Hornet. So it's pretty cool to know that Jay Sebring was the one that referred him to Bill Dozier, who put him in the Green Hornet. So then of course we end up having that connection where Jay Sebring and Bruce Lee were both on Batman. Nice, look at that old Thunderbird. Alright gang, I have to take a little break right now because I have to send a bunch of emails for pertaining to upcoming vlogs, and I need to start doing some research for my upcoming trip. When we wrap that up, we'll play with Ja, probably take him to the park again and see where the day takes us. Come on! I said we were going to the park. You acted like you want to go, but you really just want me to make... You want me to work for it, don't you? Come on! Let's go! Are you going with me? Where are we going? Are we going to the park? We are? Well, come on then. Come on then, big guy. Well, we just got back from doing a live stream at the park. I think we're gonna call it a night. I just checked my email and had an email from the photographer from the Madame Tussauds event. Sent me the pictures he took of Ja, so I'll end this vlog by showing you guys those pictures. Have a great night, and thank you all for watching. Goodbye.